Hello, I'm Dr. Lippy Roy, and welcome to my show, Health, Humor, and Harmony. Today's edition is Super Bowl edition. I'm going to be talking to Kelly Stafford, wife of Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams quarterback for the NFL. We're going to talk about sleep and the importance of sleep and how it impacts every aspect of your life, including mental health, mood, energy, and much more. We're also going to talk about Kelly's incredibly stressful life as being not only the wife of a massive NFL quarterback, but also being the mother of 4 children under the age of 7, including what she does for self-care and how she gets through that. We're also going to talk about her experience with influenza. Both her and her children were affected by the flu and were pretty sick. And we're going to talk about her experience with the devastating LA wildfires. You're not going to miss it. Stay tuned. Hello, Miss Kelly Stafford. I'm Lippy Roy, Dr. Lippy Roy. I'm a Forbes contributor as well as a licensed practicing physician in New York City, New York State. I am so thrilled to talk to you. So as a physician, I talk about sleep as a health issue all the time. Why did you and your husband, a Los Angeles Rams quarterback, Matthew Stafford, why did you both decide to partner with a bed or mattress company?
Well, to be honest, at the beginning of Matthew and I's marriage, we went back and forth on what type of bed we wanted. He likes to sleep on a firm type of bed, and I am on I like a cloud. Like I don't want to feel like I'm sleeping on a mattress. So we kind of did our research, and honestly, Sleep Number came up, and the Sleep Number smart bed that we've been on now for a while has been incredible. Not only are we sleeping better, which everyone, including I'm sure yourself, knows how important sleep is. But I really feel like it has honestly helped our marriage because the little fights in the morning that we would get into, probably because we were both tired, because we were either on a soft mattress and he was like, listen, I am in pain, I need a firm mattress. But if we were on a firm mattress, I wasn't sleeping, and then I wasn't as nice to my children because I was exhausted. So it has helped a lot in our just relationship. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
But it truly is incredible. I mean, I didn't know, honestly, I wasn't getting like really good sleep until I started sleeping on the Sleep Number smart bed. Like I would go away. Now I go away on trips or, to watch Matthew play, and I'm there for a night or two. And sometimes I'll come back early because I'm like, I've got to get my sleep. I just don't sleep well unless I'm in that bed anymore, which is really has been amazing.
Well, I have to tell you, as a physician, first of all, who has a very stressful job and who has
Yeah.
gone through years of long hours of training, as I'm sure your husband has. I mean, this idea of like
Mhm.
long hours, not exactly a 9 to 5 job. So I trust me when I say, and now I take care of so many patients. I'd say at least 70 to 85% of my patients struggle with sleep issues. So
Mm.
I cannot thank you enough on behalf of my patients and the public for using your platform to talk about the importance of sleep because
Yeah.
studies now show that chronic sleep deprivation or poor quality sleep is associated with every chronic disease from heart disease, cancer, stroke, and dementia. So what I always tell my patients, and I'm going to take this opportunity to tell my viewers
Yeah.
out here right now, that if you can strive for like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but also high quality sleep. And
Right.
sometimes, Kelly, to your point, that means creating a good environment, a good
Mhm.
bed, a good mattress, and just other things. Make sure that bed, honestly, my patients laugh when I say this, but the bed should only be for sleep and sex. Don't be on your phone on
Yeah, it's very true.
all those things, right?
Yes, I love that because that is a very true statement. Matthew and I do our best right when we get into that sleep in our bed, we are trying to immediately be off our phones. That's one of the rules we've tried to set in the last year or so. Because we did realize, and I think a lot of people do it. They get in their beds and they get right on their phones. And I don't think that sets your night up very well for a good night of sleep. So we've also started to do that. But yeah, I'm with you. This like if I can get anything across this sleep number bed has changed the game for us. I mean, the fact that we can both get a good night's sleep, but also still sleeping in the same bed, because obviously that's very important in a marriage, to wake up next to one another and stuff like that. It really has been a game changer. And to be honest, before I didn't realize this too. Like I would wake up exhausted, and to be like totally honest mom moment right here, I would take that out on my kids.
Yeah.
And like in the way of just like I wasn't patient. I was quick to just anger.
Yeah.
And it was solely because I was not getting that sleep. And I think for like mental health, the
Yes.
sleep is so important. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Like we are so happy that we found the Sleep Number Smart Bed. It has been amazing for us.
Well, what a great segue to my next question, which is, you mentioned you've been very public and open about being a mom. I gotta ask you, like, I mean, it astounds me. You are like, how do you manage the stress of being a wife, a mother of four kids? And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe all four are under the age of 7, while managing media attention, the travel, sick kids, you being sick. I mean, how do you manage the stress? And my follow-up question to that is, what do you do for self-care?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first way I manage the stress is to sleep. I'm not even kidding. Like that
Yep.
is the number one priority for me, because I do really know that if I don't get that sleep, none of that's changing. I'm still going to be sick. I'm still going to be stressed. But there's things that come with it. I am blessed with an incredible support system in my extended family. And when you're raising four girls, especially when they were younger, I would say they're 7, 7, 6, and 4 right now. They're at, honestly, I think the best ages they're going to be at. I think they're going to get older, and the attitudes and all the teenage years are going to be tough.
Right.
So I'm really trying to enjoy this stage. But when they were younger, it was really hard. I mean, we had four kids under, what was it, like 2.5.
Oh my God.
So
God
it
bless
was
you.
yeah, it was one of those things where you had to rely on everyone around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I will say my husband does an incredible job of just, he is the one that walks in, and his demeanor is very calm always. I am the very just like anxious for the most part, because I've been
Yeah.
running around all day with these kids and
Yeah.
whatnot. And he comes home, and immediately the entire environment changes. I don't know what it is about him, but we balance each other out really well. And so I would say just being married to him,
Yeah.
going through all the stresses that you were mentioning, he's the reason I can get through it as well.
Yeah.
So it is a lot, but this is life, and then people are doing it every day. You do have to manage the things you can manage. So the sleep and making time for yourself, making sure that you're set up to succeed through the day. Because when life is stressful, which everyone's life is stressful in some way, you have to be able to manage it. So that is what I'll say. Like it really does start with the night before.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for being so honest and being vulnerable and really telling the public that, hey, like you struggle just as much as everyone else does, and you need help just as much as everyone else does,
Yeah.
and that you really rely on a strong support system. You're fortunate to have a wonderful partner and your
Mhm.
husband, Matthew Stafford, but you also have just a great support system. I'll share with me personally. I mean, I was lucky to have a wonderful mom and dad, but we also grew up in a joint household where I had an aunt and uncle. So when my mom was working the evening shift,
Mhm.
my aunt and uncle kind of came in and and then by that point my dad got home, but it takes a village, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does. I mean, we had a woman with us. Her name was Tatiana. She saved me.
Yeah.
Like you really realize how much help, and especially when we were in a place with no family, we didn't know anybody, having kids for the first time. She really made it possible for me, and we wouldn't be here, literally, Matthew and I, like without her.
Yeah.
So we rely on we as much as we want to do it ourselves, and wanted to do it ourselves when they were younger, you really realize, sometimes you can't. And it's okay. It's okay to, ask for help and rely on others for that help.
And you know what? This also then ties back to not only sleep, but also the mental health because aspect of it, right? Getting sleep, when you get poor sleep, it affects your attitude and your
Oh, yeah.
personality, your mental health, and you're more depressed, you're more anxious. It affects your mood, and also when you have young kids and you have a husband that's has a very high profile job and position, all of these are added stressors. So taking care of your own mental health by relying on others is so important. So I really appreciate you talking about that.
Well, I appreciate it. And to be honest, I feel like our society is like started to it feels like it shames women for asking for help, or
Yep.
that's how women feel. And
Yep.
I hate that. I don't like that at all, because I feel like women need, like, you need help, and you need to be able to ask for help and receive it. And I will say, like, going through the brain stuff I went through, that was a tough time in my life where I had to ask for a lot of help.
Yeah.
um and so anyways, I really hope anyone who takes this from this interview, like, it's okay to rely on, to ask someone and to just rely on them for an hour, for whatever you need to
Yeah.
get that nap in, or to, if you need someone to help in the morning so you can get a little more sleep, because
Yeah.
that's really what's important. You have to be okay before you're taking care of somebody else.
Can I just say that during the pandemic, I worked three clinical jobs. I did media work and I was doing virtual speaking consulting. I completely burned out. And so now I give a lot of talks on just self-care and what I did to help me. And the very last self-care tip I give is ask for help. There's no shame in this. And to your point, Kelly, women especially, and society puts even more pressure and higher expectations, like this double
Mhm.
standard on women.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. I also just want to quickly bring up, you were also public about how recently your family was experiencing the flu. I just want to make sure that you and your children are, how are you all now? How's your health now?
We are good. We were also traveling during that,
Yeah,
so it was tough. But you know what? We're all good with it now.
good.
That was probably the worst flu that I've seen. So, everyone take care of themselves, because that one hit pretty hard.
Well, I thank you for saying that. Now I'm just going to make my where my doctor had again and my public health message to my viewers. Please remember, it's still flu season. It's still respiratory viral season. So that means RSV, COVID, and flu. So if you're sick, try to stay at home. But if you have to go out and travel, please make sure you wear a mask, wash your hands, and
Mhm.
still and get the flu shot, the COVID shot, and RSV if you're a candidate or eligible for all that. So I just got to send my public health message there for that.
Please,
We can
please.
all get sick, right? And our immune systems, when
Yes,
we're stressed, when we're sleep deprived, it increases our risk for getting infection. So I'm glad you're all
yes.
okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
And last question, I mean, so your husband plays for the LA Rams. I'm assuming you and your family are based in LA. As you know very well, personally, there were the LA wildfires. How are you and your family? Here in New York, where I am, I mean, the images were just devastating, people losing their homes and whatnot. So I just want to make sure you and your family are okay.
You know what? We are thankfully okay. It was one of those things you never wanted to witness. There are still so many, that are trying to figure things out.
Yeah,
It I never honestly thought I would see the day that kind of natural disaster would occur.
yeah,
But you know, if anyone's listening to this who has something to spare, so I mean, this community could use it.
yeah,
But also prayers, I'm sure everyone would love that. But we are okay.
yeah,
That's actually the reason we were traveling while having the flu, is because we had to get out of LA
yeah,
due to the wildfires. But we are lucky in the fact that, and it almost feels uh just not even fun talking about it, because we are
yeah,
one of the lucky ones. There's so many
yeah.
um that lost everything. So yeah,
Well,
it's a hard time to be in LA, but it's also incredible to see the community come together. It's been honestly such an incredible, just like, view of LA that I feel like most people wouldn't think would happen here.
Well, Kelly, I'm so glad and relieved that you and your family are fine, are good. But you know what? I've never evacuated from a wildfire, but I was a second year medical student in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina struck,
Mm.
and so my apartment was flooded.
Ugh,
I can resonate that sense of guilt resonates with me too because I evacuated and then came and I'm okay, at least physically, but I've got again
mhm.
mentally, emotionally, seeing so many people that you love, the patients, people I took care of in that community, losing everything, and then going
Yeah,
back 9 months later to a very different New Orleans. And that reparation, that repair will take years, as I'm sure it
yeah,
will in LA. But I thank you for saying that. It really does take a community, whether it be
yeah,
donating your time, your money, prayers, whatever it takes. So, but I'm glad you're okay.
yeah.
Kelly,
Thank
anything
you.
else? Yeah, go
And
ahead.
real quick, I just want to shout like the first thank you to the first responders in those fires. It has been like they are the heroes.
Yeah.
And we don't ever thank our first responders enough. And it always takes something like this to where we really, look and show appreciation when we really should be showing it every day. So
Yeah.
just wanted to put that out there, how grateful we are for the first responders that we have in LA.
100% totally agree with you. I've been fortunate to work with amazing EMS and firefighters and whatnot. So as well as of course nurses
Yeah.
and doctors and other healthcare professionals. But Kelly, is there anything else you want to say or add that I didn't ask or say?
I mean, I'm just going to reiterate it. Make sure you're getting your sleep, because we both know how important that is.
Yeah.
And again, if you're looking for a bed that's good, it's Sleep Number Smart Bed is honestly the most incredible thing that Matthew and I have purchased. So we
Uh,
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you for using your platform to really send what I think is a really strong health message and medical message. So thank you. I really appreciate the time.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
I am so grateful to Kelly Stafford for taking the time and effort to share really personal stories about her family, health, including sleep, the flu, the wildfires, and much more. Three things that I really want to talk about as a physician. And one, first and foremost, is the importance of sleep and how it affects every aspect of our health. Chronic sleep deprivation has been associated with every chronic illness, as I had mentioned, including heart disease, cancer, stroke, and dementia. It can also really adversely affect our mood, including our risk of increasing our risk for depression, anxiety, irritability, and other mental health and behavioral issues. So, please try to do your best to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, and make sure that that's high quality sleep. I also want to just really commend Kelly for talking openly about self-care and how, as a mother of four, even though she comes from a place of privilege, she also acknowledges that it's really hard work. It's hard being a mother, hard being a woman, and she relies on other people for support. So I completely agree that we all need support in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, at work, at home, at school, everywhere. So there is no shame in asking for help. Please ask for help whenever you need it. And the third thing I just want to add is about influenza, flu. Please remember, folks, it is still very much flu season. It's respiratory viral season, including RSV, influenza, COVID-19. So if you're sick, please stay home. If you have to go out, please wear a mask, practice physical distancing, and get the vaccine if you're still able, if you're eligible. Please get the vaccines. The vaccines really do work. And then wash your hands really regularly as well. So on that note, thank you so much for listening. And before you go, here's your joke of the day, football theme. What is a football player's favorite dessert? It's any given Sunday. Be sure to follow my rate comments below. Follow my Instagram at Health Humor Harmony. Dr. Roy. Be well. I'll see you soon.